What's up, you good people? It's good to be connecting with you once again because one, it means it's weekend for me, and two, it means we have something new to share with you today. Now, what would that be? I seriously wonder. So let's go. This, my friend, is the Zotac GeForce RTX 3070 Amp Holo. So Zotac has two main models of their RTX 3070 graphics cards, one being the Twin Edge and the other being the Amp Holo Black. Between the two, unless you're building an all-white or all-black PC build, the Amp Holo does appear to be more visually appealing. Just you look at that. Whoa! So I'm always very impressed by the variety of designs of graphics cards. You know, all that ideation that goes behind the same series of graphics cards, say in this example, the 3070. Just how many different designs and variations are available out there from the founders all the way to third-party makers. Yet there's always a couple within the same series that stands out uniquely from the others. In a very Singaporean slang, we call it same, not the same. The Amp Holo is a relatively short graphics card at 291mm long. That said, to compensate its short length and yet to facilitate heat dissipation, it is a lot wider than most graphics cards at 142mm. This length is exceptionally great, especially for those who are venturing into small form factor cases, which gives up a lot of options in terms of the maximum length that your PC case can accommodate. But however, the width being exceptionally longer than most graphics cards, you'll need to take note of the width when selecting your ideal PC case. Otherwise, it is a 2.5 slot GPU, which should be largely compatible with most PC cases. The Amp Holo also has a full metal backplate with cutouts on the sides, a little bit here as well, to facilitate heat dissipation. And if I turn it around, this GPU is powered by two 8-pin power connectors, though Zotac claims that this GPU has a power consumption of 240 watts and requires a recommended power supply of 650 watts. If we turn it over, here the I/O panel has a triangular. You see it. The I/O panel has a triangular cutout design and it has 3 display ports as well as one HDMI port that can deliver up to 8K resolution at 60Hz or 4K at 120Hz. So in the box, there is also a metal support bracket included to prevent GPU sag. To be honest, it doesn't look much of anything. It is just a matte black. Not sure if you can see it. Just a matte black piece of GPU support. So if you're going to build an all-black PC build, then this GPU support bracket is going to fit very, very nicely within your build. The Amp Holo also adopts Zotac Spectra 2.0 RGB lighting, whereby on the backplate, this logo, I think, as well as this strips will actually glow. And also, if I'm not wrong, you know, some light horizontal strips on this colorful, shiny part of the front of the GPU. We'll be able to confirm all of that after we plug it into our system. You'll also have full control over the RGB with animated options which you can personalize using Zotac's Firestorm application. So let's turn this one more time and look at the other side of the GPU. So this GPU features 2 large fans, and we are looking at really large fans at 100mm each. Apparently, Zotac has taken a different approach to adopt a shorter GPU, so it fits more PC cases. But having a shorter GPU just means that you have lesser surface areas available to give out heat. So in order to compensate that, what they've done is they've made it wider, a lot wider than the regular GPUs, and at the same time introduced these massive fans. There's only 2 of them, but they're huge, which will give it more power to manage the temperature performance. The fans adopt Zotac's freeze fan stop mechanism, which idles when in low usage. Both fans can also be independently controlled using the Firestorm utility app to adjust the speed of each fan. Now, taking a step back, if we look at NVIDIA having launched the 30 series graphics card late last year, With the GeForce RTX 3070 graphics card featuring NVIDIA's 2nd generation ray tracing cores and 3rd generation tensor cores, which the former of course will provide for a huge boost in ray tracing performance, whilst the 3rd generation tensor core supports AI processing for DLSS and NVIDIA broadcast. Now, NVIDIA's graphics cards are highly sought after not just for their hardware specs, but also for the other capabilities that they have developed. Ray tracing being one has improved the gaming experience by leaps and bounds, right? Where it simulates the physical behavior of light to give you that ray trace effects and therefore more realistic graphics. This really helps to create that very immersive video game experience. We also spoke about the 3rd generation tensor cores to do AI processing such as DLSS. So DLSS is what NVIDIA deems as its groundbreaking AI technology, which allows it to produce great performance whilst also producing sharper and clearer graphics with improved stability frame to frame. In other words, my view is that DLSS just basically complements ray tracing. When you go into the in-game settings, you will be able to adjust the level of ray tracing performance that you like to achieve. And the higher ray tracing performance selected usually will end up with you having lower FPS. So by also switching on DLSS and selecting it to the level that you desire, you can expect to game at your desired ray tracing performance and maintain your frame rates. So you won't have to choose between frame rates or better graphics, therefore owning the flexibility and control to balance quality and performance. The Zotac Gaming GeForce RTX 3070 features 5888 CUDA cores. It has got a boost clock of 1785 MHz, memory speed up to 14 GB per second, 8 GB of standard memory config with a 256-bit memory interface width. Well, the specs wouldn't mean much until we can see what it can do. So let's move on to look at how it performs in major popular games.
Take your team right.
Copy.
What did these poor bastards do?
They finished their job.
Hell of a reward.
They've got closed-circuit cameras. We could use them to locate the nuclear bomb.
Sharp as ever, Park.
Spread out. Find that nuke. German armor. Watch yourself.
Oh, Christ!
Find yourself a phantom. German vehicle incoming. Telling you, you've got to look in your back pocket, son. Now's the time to use it. Fire the rocket. Forward cannon. Something. Nice! You stick it to a boy! No way! Yeah, keep it up!
Zotac has already launched the 3070 Ti Amp Holo graphics card as we speak. Well, I can't say if the top-up is going to be worth it in terms of performance, though specs-wise we do know that it has higher CUDA cores. At 6144 CUDA cores, it has a higher boost clock up to 1830 MHz and a higher memory speed of 19 GB per second. Size-wise, it is also no longer looking like the 3070 Amp Holo. It is in fact longer at 318mm long, no longer as wide as well at 122.7mm wide, still a 2.5 slot graphics card, and in fact now having 3 fans instead of 2. But back to the RTX 3070 Amp Holo GPU. This is a great GPU. If you are upgrading from a 10 series or a 20 series, come on, the 3070 is a good start, especially if you have a budget in mind. There are a few takeaways I have in fact with regards to this Amp Holo graphics card. So firstly, I do fancy the design of this graphics card. From small form factor PC cases to mid-tower, generally any GPUs of length more than 320mm is risky, even for mid-tower cases. So this GPU at 291mm and 2.5 slot is a great size to have. Secondly, most of the RTX 3070 GPUs have 3 fans. Whilst Zotac has launched both their versions of their GPUs with 2 fans, you would have seen in the performance review that we had earlier on that the 2 fans design hasn't impeded the temperatures of the Amp Holo. So in a way, if you ask me, Zotac has nailed it with their unique 2-fan GPU design. Thirdly, it brings me to the aesthetic of the Amp Holo graphics card. I think we've got to be honest here, most of us do care about how our GPUs look. We want to build a PC that showcases our style. For example, black is my favorite color. You see my gaming chairs are black, my handbags are black, my high heels are black. So yeah, I would have loved a matte black graphics card. But what if you can have a matte black one with some variation? You look at these colors. You see that? With some variation that creates a very futuristic look. Although I will very much have preferred this piece to be made of metal. You probably can't tell just by looking at it, but when you touch it, when you feel it, this is plastic. I would really prefer it to be solid metal. I think some parts of the graphics card is plasticky. Yeah. But then again, more metal, more weight, more GPU sec, there is an opportunity cost for everything. And then if you also consider the RGB of how they have done it, subtle but not overdone, not looking 90s, I think it's great. Lastly, in the 30 series graphics cards, we have the RTX 3060, we have the RTX 3060, we have the RTX 3070, we have the RTX 3080, and we have the RTX 3090. The RTX 3070 graphics card has quite a gap specs-wise compared to its bigger brothers, but honestly, in my opinion, it performs really well for gaming. So for personal consumption in the house, I am using both a RTX 3070 and a RTX 3080 graphics cards in two separate PCs. And the truth is we game on both. We don't select to install a heavier game on the RTX 3080 instead of the RTX 3070. In fact, we just install it in a way whereby, Tristan and I will not end up in a scenario where we are snatching to game on the same PC. So that's the intent. Otherwise, performance-wise, they all work perfectly for gaming. Of course, when it comes to video editing, I have the software installed in my 3080 because that's the first PC that I built. So quite naturally, I've not tried it on the 3070, but it wouldn't go far. And if you are a console gamer looking to upgrade to move to PC gaming, the RTX 3070's gaming performance already far exceeds that of consoles by leaps and bounds. Not to forget that we have access to ray tracing and DLSS, and I haven't mentioned about NVIDIA Reflex, which you can find out more about it from their website, but the gist of it is that it provides 3-second gaming responsiveness to your mouse and your keyboard. So if you're gaming on multiplayer titles, that will give you an added advantage to take shots with greater precision and of course to wipe out all your enemies. Just how cool is that? Now I'm gonna put this down because my hand is going numb. But if you have reached this point, I'd really appreciate your feedback on my videos so that I can constantly work on improving my channel and myself, of course, to bring you more meaningful content going forward. And if you did enjoy this video, then please do give us a like and subscribe to our channel as we build our community of the normal people. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you again really soon.